Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdullah Yas and my second group member is Abdul Wahab. We are students of BS Data Science third semester at Air University Islamabad. This project is part of our probability and statistics course and the title of our project is Smoking and Drugs Analysis. We have a detailed analysis of smoking and drugs patterns, behaviors and various factors that influence these trends using statistical method. We obtain the dataset from Kaggle that is already clean and ready to use. Our dataset consists of 7 columns. 3 are numerical columns and 4 are categorical columns. These columns include the year, age group, gender, smoking prevalence, drug experimentation, socioeconomic status, peer influence. We use the statistical method on the numerical column to find the insights and look at the relationship between the categorical column to understand the pattern. The goal of our project is to study the factors that affect the smoking and drug use among youth people. We obtain to analyze the smoking rate over time to see the trends and changes. We also examine drug use to understand how many people try drugs and what factor it relates. We look at role of peer influence as the friend and social group can have a big impact on this behavior. We also study how gender and socioeconomic status affect the smoking and drug use. Finally, we identify which age group are most affected. To understand the data better, we look at two things, the central tendency and the dispersion. First, let's talk about the central tendency. In the central tendency, we find first the mean. Mean is the average value. We find mean by add all values divided by total number of values. The next one is median. Median value where the data is arranged from ascending or descending order. It is helpful where there are number or there are too high or too low. Mod, the most indicate the most frequent value in the dataset or not. Let's move to dispersion. Dispersion tell us how spread out the data. The first is range, the difference between the highest and the lowest value. It gives us a quick idea how spread out data is. The next one is standard deviation. This tells us on the average how far each data point is from mean. If standard deviation is high, the data is spread out a lot. If standard deviation is low, then the data is close to the mean. Next one is skewness. This shows if the data is lopsided. If the data has a long tail on the right side, it is positively skewed. If it has long tail on the left side, it is negatively skewed. The next one is cortices. This tells us how many extreme values or outlier are in data. A high cortices mean there are more outliers, while a low cortices mean a fewer outlier. Outlier are detected. We detect outlier in our column smoking prevalence, and we replace the outlier by median. Why we replace outlier with median? Because the median is the robust measure of central tendency. So we plot different graphs for better visualization. We see the two line graphs for drugs and smoking percentage by year. The y-axis shows the percentage of smoking and drugs, and x-axis shows the year from 20 to 2024. Again, we plot a line graph by gender-wise and from which year the male or female have higher smoking percentage or lower smoking percentage. Bar chart by age group. The y-axis shows the percentage of smoking and drugs, and x-axis shows the age group. We see that the which age group have highest or lowest smoking and drugs percentage. We see in chart clearly. The first one shows that the highest percentage of drugs was the high class. High class people have highest number of percentage in drugs, and the middle class have highest percentage in smoking, and also the middle class have highest percentage in influence. Now I switch to Python code. We need to analyze the dataset. Since the dataset was already clean and pre-processed when we downloaded it, we use these libraries for analyzing this dataset: the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Cebu. The first step is to load the data, and after loading the data, we will see the first couple of rows to see the data shape, the values, which type of values, and the column name. Our next step to calculate the basic statistical measure like mean, median, mode of, of numerical column, such as smoking prevalence, drug experimentation, peer influence. You will see that we will find mean, median, mode. Then we calculate the measure of dispersion like range, variance, standard deviation, quartile deviation, quartiles. Next, we created the visualization to interpret the data better. Let me show you a multiple charts that comparing the smoking and drug experimentation by year. This graph I will already explain in my presentation. You will see I created. This is the code of my all graphs that I shown, and the graphs are already shown in my presentation early. Our analysis provides some important insights into smoking and drugs experimentation among youth. Let's see some general finding and insights. The first, smoking and drug trend. The smoking and drugs percentage are higher among males as compared to the female. The peak observed for female in 2021 and peak observed for male in 2023. The economic class analysis. The smoking percentage is highest in middle class, 34.1%, and drugs percentage is highest in highest class, is 46.0%. We also get insight that the age group from 20 to 29 stand out as the most affected. This group experience the highest peer influence, smoking, and drugs, make it crucial for targeting awareness and interventional programs. These findings emphasize the importance of focusing on specific age group, genders, and socioeconomic classes for effective public health strategies. Thank you for seeing our project. I will provide you also the data set and notebook, and you will easily run the notebook and see our project clearly. Thank you.